guys, welcome back to Planet Tyro. I'm your host, Donald Wonder. Today we're going to do another documentary. This documentary should be for the month December 2015, so it's going to be the last one of the year. And ironically, it's actually going to be what has been hailed as, I think, the best documentary of the year, which is going to be the Amy Winehouse documentary. Amy Winehouse was a British musician, jazz singer, who had a very successful career that didn't last very long, and unfortunately she had an untimely demise. And this documentary covers her rise and demise, to put it bluntly. Now, before I go through my thoughts on the documentary, let me just say I was never the biggest fan of Amy Winehouse. uh, to be honest with you, I like jazz music, but I just liked her singles. I had nothing against her. I like the fact she was British. I like the fact that her personality was kind of down to earth and very, I don't want to say British ghetto, but I knew girls with this kind of personality personally. So it was really cool to see this girl. And, I just want to say, I heard so much things about Amy Winehouse on the news, about her being a drug addict, about her stupid boyfriend. And I was glad to see this documentary wasn't just some expose. It was actually done with a lot of class. And if you've never seen, or if you don't know anything about Amy Winehouse, this is a good documentary, because this is a documentary that is made for the fans. This documents her entire life. One of the most unique things about this documentary is a lot of documentaries I've seen use talking heads, or they use first person narratives. Like, they interview people and you'll see them talking in front of the camera, and they'll say their piece, then they'll do flash cuts to footage of the person they're talking about. This documentary, the way it's shot, most of the comments taken from people are done by voiceover. The reason why this is so special is because most of the time we're looking at Amy. We're looking at behind the scenes footage of Amy, never been seen footage of Amy. We're looking at footage from her youth, from her present, from her past, and we're always looking at Amy. We're looking at her telling her stories, singing, and honestly, I don't think I've seen a documentary do this before. It's one element they change, just using only 90% voiceovers from everyone. Their name will come up, who's talking, like Mos Def, or I forgot some other producers like Mark Ronson. They will come on, but they will just give their voice commentary, and we'll be looking at Amy, or we'll be hearing her saying things, or they'll show a clip of her singing at the point they're speaking about. And it really just kept me engaged. I was looking at her and I was hearing the things people were saying about her, and they brought me into it. Now, again, the way the story is told, the way this life story is told, is from beginning to end, and it's done at a very nice pace. Again, I'm not a fan of Amy Winehouse, but I'm a British guy. I'm a Brit. I was born in Britain, and to see a fellow English person come up, especially one so down to earth. Amy Winehouse is even, her upbringing is very just local. I don't know what to say, pedestrian, or I don't know. It just seems like I knew this girl, and her whole personality is just, fuck it. I love music. I do music. I don't know much of anything else. Just keep me on the music, and that's it. So she was a master, and as everyone says about her in this documentary and outside of this documentary, this is a woman whose voice doesn't even match the face. So what I mean by that is, when you hear the voice come out of the person, it's like, how is this voice of someone who's lived a life, that she's like the voice of an old soul. It's like when Michael Jackson was a young kid and they said that, this young kid sounds like he's a 30-year-old man singing about things he doesn't understand. Amy Winehouse was another one of those artists who seems like they were singing from a different person, like they were reincarnated. She's a classic jazz singer. When I hear her singing, it's flawless. Her mannerisms, her skill level, pure talent. This girl was absolute pure talent. And like I said, I just heard the singles in the past, so I didn't really know much about her. But just watching her perform, this girl was a fucking master. Flawless master. Some people have to practice, some people have to tune, but this girl was just on point. So what do I have to say that I didn't like about the documentary? There's a couple of things that were missing, and what I mean by that is, you can paint a picture of what went wrong, or who's to blame for the demise of Amy Winehouse? Was it her boyfriend slash husband? Was it her greedy father? But some of the things I wanted to see were missing. Like, for example, they say early on that her father abandoned her, left her for another woman, but then all of a sudden the father comes back in her life, but they don't show the transition. I think that was probably my biggest qualm. It didn't really show that transition. Whether they couldn't get the story of that, or it was a, they kept it as a family secret, they wanted to speak about it on the documentary, or they couldn't get the information. It kind of, he just came out of nowhere. And as a side effect, it makes him seem more like an opportunist. And to be honest with you, maybe he was an opportunist, because there's scenes in the movie where, well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but I don't want to condemn someone without seeing the whole picture. And with Amy's father, I feel like they were missing a transition, how he came back into her life. That's pretty much the big criticism. But if you want to talk about how it's conveyed excellently well. It's shot fantastically well. This was another one of those movies, well, this is another one of those documentaries that let you know what time we're in, because so much of her life has been documented by video camera, VHS, camcorders, camera phones. This was really well done, and there was a lot of footage they got to make this a very complete documentary. This was very well baked, very fully loaded in terms of content, and I found it really interesting. And to be honest with you, like I said, I was never the biggest fan of Amy Winehouse, but after watching this, I have an appreciation for her. And ultimately, it is a tragedy, but this documentary doesn't wallow in the sadness. It doesn't build up to it. It just tells her life in a very straightforward and honest way. It doesn't really have an agenda, just tells her how it is, and it was very engaging. This is probably the best documentary of the year. I haven't seen many, but I would say I would give this a low first class. Not much to say I didn't like about it. I sat down, I was engaged, I really liked it. If you're a fan of Amy Winehouse, you're really going to like it. If you're not a fan of Amy Winehouse, this is done really well. This is one of the best unbiased looks at this young artist's life. And it's a bit of a tragedy. It's even a bit ironic, because when you look at her life, it's kind of atypical. A singer who gets mixed up in drugs and ends up dead. It sounds like a movie, but they say cliche is cliche because clichéness is based off reality. Amy Winehouse's life sounds like a bad movie, but it really happened, and it's really tragic. And I won't be surprised when they do make this into a movie, because I'm pretty sure someone will do. But Amy Winehouse, she was a talent, and this documentary was done really well, and I really enjoyed it. That's pretty much it. If you're a fan, you're probably gonna like this, and if you're not, and you're open to it, I'll say check it out. So let me leave it at that, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the annotation on the screen on the right there that you'll see to all the other stuff we've done. If you like the documentary we do, recommend another one down below, a good one. We will vet it, we'll investigate, and if it's really good, really interesting, and it's kind of unknown, we're going to talk about it here on Planet Tyro. But we do monthly documentaries, so we don't do this all the time. We just switch it up every month, if you didn't know. But guys, again, I want to say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care. Peace out.